So, Tamara Buchanan from travelingnaturally.com has asked several Black American PCVs, Peace Corps volunteers, to answer a few questions that she has in regards to traveling and Peace Corps. So here's my video and my responses on these questions. So question number one, introduce yourself. So my name is Renee. I'm a Peace Corps volunteer in Morocco serving in the youth development sector. I work at a Dar Shabab or a youth house, basically what we in America would think as like a boys and girls club. Question number two, what sparked your interest in joining Peace Corps? I came across the Peace Corps website, I think either my senior year in high school or my freshman year in college. So I kind of knew what it was and what it was about. But what kind of got the ball rolling was I saw a Peace Corps recruiter in the student center of my college, of my university, and he was just talking about like the scholarships you can get for grad school with Peace Corps, some of the benefits of doing Peace Corps for graduate school work, entering the workforce, and so all of that really intrigued me, and that's when I really started going back to the website, looking at blogs of Peace Corps volunteers and really kind of doing some research, and I think by the end of my sophomore year of college I knew that I was going to be applying for Peace Corps by the time I graduated college. So question number three, as a Black American traveler, what advice would you give to others inspired to join the Peace Corps but afraid to take the first step? So I was asked this question before I came, and really it depends on why are you hesitant to join Peace Corps? Are you afraid that you're not experienced enough? Do you feel like you're not qualified? Well, if you go on the Peace Corps website, you'll see, depending on which sector you want to serve in, or they want you to have about 3 to 6 months of volunteer work like by the time you apply, and then just please continue doing your volunteer work until you leave. So also you get 3 months of training once you're in country. I think most people assume that this training is just language training. Yes, that is part of it, but also part of it is technical training. So as a youth development volunteer, not only did I have 4 to 7 or 8 hours a day of language training, we also had technical training. We met in bigger cities with about half of the volunteers that came with me to have technical training on how to teach English, how to do environmental projects, how to do health-related projects, how to start a camp or a club at our place of work. All of these different things, we got all of this training on. They brought in current volunteers to share their experience with us on how it actually worked in our country. So you get all of this training in country, and not just during those 3 months. You have a training after your first 3 months in site. You have another training in the middle of your service. You have trainings all throughout, depending on what you want to do during your service. So you'll become experienced. And I think this is probably the one reservation that I've heard the most, the chance of not having running water, electricity, internet, not being close to a supermarket like a Walmart or something like this. You're interested in Peace Corps for a reason, and I think that this is one of those reasons that intrigues a certain kind of person, that you're intrigued, you're inspired by people of our generation, people between their 20s and 30s, and actually Peace Corps has all the way up to retirees that come, but you are impressed by these people who can just uproot their life for 2 years and give themselves into this community no matter what it's lacking. And if this is what intrigues you, then I definitely say do it. It's good to have a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of reservation, but just go do it. Don't let that stop you from joining Peace Corps. It's going through this process, it makes you realize the better parts of yourself and the worst parts of yourself, and you come back home by the end of your 2 years a better version of yourself, because you didn't have these amenities. You learned how to do things without having the nearest hardware store, the nearest such and such store to just go and grab these things. You actually had to make these things, different things like that. So you come back a better person, and I think that in itself is a good reason to join Peace Corps. You may just have concerns about something else that I haven't mentioned. If you are, do your research. Look on the Peace Corps website, look at what all they offer. Then Google Peace Corps blogs. Look for your sector. I did a lot of research on people who were teaching English in the education sector, so I was looking at lots of blogs of people who were doing that. But people have blogs in every sector. So just, do your research, look at people's blogs, look at all different countries. Also look at YouTube. YouTube has a whole slew of Peace Corps cribs. You can look at what people's apartments look like. I'll be doing a house tour video. Not everyone lives in a mud house in the middle of Africa. We are all over the world, and you'll be surprised at what people's living situation, what their work situation is. So just do your research, so that way you have a broader understanding of what current Peace Corps looks like. It doesn't look the same as it did when it first started. Question number 4 is, what was your family and friends' reaction when you told them that you were going to apply to Peace Corps? So my family, overall I had a pretty positive response. My family was very encouraging. My dad lived on a farm with his 6 siblings, so he was like, oh, the chance for you to have no running water, no electricity, go, do it. My stepmom was a little bit more concerned, but she was still proud, and she's been supportive of it. On my stepmother's side, I do have a cousin that actually did Peace Corps. She served in the Dominican Republic doing special education work. So, that's how the family kind of understood what Peace Corps was about. They were very supportive. The one thing that they had a reservation of was make sure I didn't come back with like a host country national, like married and pregnant, because that had happened. So they were just like, don't bring home anybody, but otherwise they were super supportive. My friends, I got a little bit of mixed things, but still mostly positive. Some people thought it was the military because it has the word corpse at the end, so I think they were thinking like Marine Corps. And so I just went, no, it's not the military. And I think they also thought it's because I did do junior ROTC in high school, so they were like, oh, you're going to the military. But no, it's not the military. You are not allowed to associate yourself with anything political while serving in Peace Corps, so you don't have to worry about that. People just didn't know what it was, so I had to explain what Peace Corps was and what its mission is and what I'd be doing and things of that nature. But overall, I got a positive response. So that's not the case for everyone, but for me, mostly positive response. And then number 5 is, how do you overcome obstacles during your service? This is a really good question. Thank you, Tamara, for asking this question. Because first of all, every host country's obstacles are going to be different. Not only that, every volunteer within one host country of service, their volunteer service is going to be different. So I came in with 104 volunteers, and all of our experiences are different, even just within Morocco, because Morocco, its culture is vastly different just across the country. Its terrain is different. So a lot of the what we do, especially just because youth development is a very broad sector, you can do a lot of different things for your service. So we have the saying here, don't compare your service to someone else's. I teach English, I teach 3 different English classes, and that's, as far as work, that's all I've done right now. I do a lot of integration by visiting my host family at least once a week, maybe more, and different things like this. So there are other volunteers who, they have basketball camps or ping pong tournaments or photography classes, art classes, and they're sharing their experiences through blogs and Facebook and all these different things. So I cannot compare my service to theirs. My service is mine, and so what my obstacles are going to be a lot different from other Peace Corps Morocco volunteers obstacles. So my obstacles, one is language. Being on the other side of the Atlas Mountains, in my site, it is a mixture of Arab and Berber culture. We prefer the term Amazigh because Berber actually means barbarian in French. So they are the Amazigh people, and they have their own language. So like when I go visit my host family, the majority, when they speak to each other, it's in Shilha, our region's dialect of the Tamazight language. There are 3 or 4 different dialects in Morocco. But then when I go out, I may hear an actual mixture of the 2 languages. Or there are several people in my small little town that actually do speak English. There's a guy at my post office that speaks English. There's a guy at a local corner, what we would call a corner store, who speaks English. My supervisor, the mudir of the Dar Shabab, he speaks English. So I also kind of get this mixture of people who want me to speak English to them, but then I'm not able to practice my Moroccan Arabic. So there's that, trying to keep up with my language skills. Another obstacle that I have is that I live 7 hours away from the nearest train station. So I have my main mode of transportation is by bus. And this can be difficult because there is one good line of buses called the CTM. And they do have an online system where you can go online and look up what times to different places and what the price is. But for what's called the souk bus, it's still one of those big buses, charter bus type buses, but they're maybe a little more run down. There are all these different companies. They have their own prices, their own times of running from different places, and there's no website for these. You basically have to go to the bus station and ask, is there a bus from here to here? When does it leave? How much is it? So if I want to know that for a city that's far away, like Marrakesh, which is about 10 hours, probably longer actually, probably longer. I need to go to Arashidia, which is a city 2 hours south from me, and ask them because I can't get a bus from my site. So there's all of this finagling of trying to figure out when buses are, where are they leaving from, and so how I've overcome this is I've learned to have a lot of patience with the bus system, because they also, you would think, if you Google, in a car how long it takes to get from one place to another, it can only be 2 hours, 3 hours, but in reality by bus it takes 5 to 7 hours to get there. So I've had a lot of, when I know that I'm traveling, I try not to have a set time that I need to be somewhere. I'm I'll get there in the afternoon, or I'll be there before dark, because yes, patience with transport in Morocco. Is this your first time traveling or living abroad? No, my first time traveling abroad was when I was 6. My dad was in the military, and I lived in Germany for 3 years. So between the ages of 6 and 9, I was living in Germany. I do not remember a lot of the German language because I went to a school for military students or kids, so I was around all these other military students. And then my stepmom at the time, she was fluent in German, so she took care of all of the handlings that were necessary in German. I learned some words then. I remember a couple of words now, but not a whole lot. And then the 7th question is, how can you guys who are watching this video get in contact with me? If you want to ask any questions, please do. I love answering questions about Peace Corps, about Morocco, about the process, everything. So I do have a blog. It's livelifetremendously.wordpress.com. You can also find me on Instagram at livetremendously. The way you spell it is LIVETR with a 3, Mendously on Instagram. And then also you can email me at rjsmith09@gmail.com. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Tamara, for inviting me to do this interview, and I hope it's helpful.